Well, at long last, welcome to Module D, and we're going to start out with a lesson in color harmony, and I want to show you the pigment wheel. Now this pigment wheel is a little different than what's in your Artist Technical Guide. This one has all of the Traditions colors on this pigment wheel, so that it's helpful, and it's more complete. There will be 8 new pigment colors coming out in the summer of 2009. So, and there'll also be a new Artist Technical Guide, because we are now Deco Art Traditions education program. But Module D is a wonderful module, and it really stretches you. And I want to welcome you to this module, and thank you for wanting to learn from this module. So, our pigment wheel, you know how this works by now. We have our toner colors in the center, our brighter colors around the edges, and we use this to plot and find out what kind of color we're going to have when we mix. We know that, and in review, we know that when we use a naphtha red light and we use, let's say, a phthalo blue to make a purple, if you draw a line between the two colors, you're going to run right through that center circle, and you're going to get a very muddy toned purple. Also, you are using complements, because orange is the complement of blue, and the naphtha red light sits close to orange, so you've got orange and blue working together, which tone each other as well as complement each other. So if you move over here to the naphtha red and you use ultramarine blue, you draw a line and you stay in this outside circle, so you know you're going to get a clear violet, and you're going to get a bright violet, and you have used the red that has a blue cast, and you have used the blue that has a red cast, so they're very good with each other to get what you want. Now, times you want a clear violet, times you want a muddy. So there are no bad colors, there are only the colors you need for what you're doing at that moment. And this pigment wheel really helps you to know what you're going to get before you start. So, the first lesson is color harmony, and that's a little bit about what I was talking about. And in the previous modules we've studied hue, which is the colors, and we've studied value, which is the light or dark of a color. Let me pull something out to help us visualize that. Studying hue, which is the color. We're studying that. That was in Module A. We studied value, which is the lightness or darkness of a color, and we studied intensity, which was the brightness or the dullness of a color. Okay, and we see the intensities right here in the center of the wheel, the duller intensities. So we studied all of that, and now we're going to study harmony. So you should always pay attention to your palette and how your palette colors are perceived. A lot of people, most people, will look at a painting and be drawn to it by the color. And the first impression you have of a painting, whether you like it or dislike it, will be on the colors that you see first. So we've established now that color is what attracts a viewer to a painting, and then the subject matter. So it's really important that we learn how to create harmony in our colors. Now, color harmony is the relationship of the color on a palette with each other. How they work together, whether you have lots of colors on a palette, whether they have something in common with each other or not. And let's put some colors out. So let's look at naphtha red light and ultramarine blue. Okay, here are those colors. And they really don't have anything in common with each other. This blue is blue that has some red in it, but this red has orange in it, has yellow in it. So they really don't have anything in common. So if I wanted to use these two together, I'd have to find a way to make them go together or give them something in common. They need to have a relationship with each other. Okay? So there's three methods that we can use to create these relationships. Number one, we can determine what is in the color or the color makeup. And we've determined that. We have blue and we have with a bias toward red, and we have a red with a bias toward orange or toward yellow. And then then we can add a common color to them both to complete the harmony. Or we can use a common color as an undertone, or a technique that gives a common color under all the objects, so that when you place these colors on top, the undercolor shows through and then builds that relationship. Okay, let's get Naphthol Red Light, let's get Vermilion, and let's get Naphthol Red. Okay, here we go. Now, two of these colors have a relationship with each other, and two of them have a harmony to begin with. The third color is totally unrelated. So which two of these have a relationship? Well, it's Naphthol Red Light and Vermilion that have the relationship. Just looking at them, you can see that they have something in common. They both contain PR9. Now, if you will look in the back of your find, a list of the Traditions pigments and their numbers. So let's find PR9. It's right here, and it's Naphthol Red Light. Okay? So naturally, Naphthol Red Light has Naphthol Red Light in it. Alright? What these numbers mean is P stands for pigment, R is for red, and then 9 is, it's the 9th recorded pigment of red. There are many red pigments, and they are all numbered. This one is PR9. Okay? Now let's look down here on Vermilion. It's a mix, and if you look on the side of the bottle, you will see PY74 and PR9. PR9 is Naphthol Red Light. So we have this color inside of this color. And then we look down and we see PY74, and we see that we have Hansa Yellow is PY74. So we have Naphthol Red Light, and then we have Vermilion, and Vermilion is a mix of Naphthol Red Light and Hansa Yellow. So this color is a mix of these two colors. So you see that these two have something in common. This one doesn't have anything in common with either one of them, except the fact that it's a red, but it is a blue biased red, not an orange biased red or a yellow biased red. So these two have a common denominator. These three all go very well together because they are all included. They all have something. This is PR9, this is PR74, and this one is PR74 plus PR9. So let's put some colors on our palette. And let's do a little mixing and a little bit of observing.